Good evening, good morrow, and good day, and welcome to another edition of Slice and Dice here with the Manylands campaign. As you can see, I've gone to this screen which I forgot that we had, and so it's still got our Christmas theme up, which is an excellent start to the new year. Happy New Year, everybody! It's Jack here, causing problems from the very beginning of the campaign of the stream today. Here we go, we're back. Oh, as if by magic. Do you see that? We're back in the Manylands. We're no longer doing our festive one-shot. I will talk more about that in a short while. First-time chat from Roll for Mischief. Thank you for tuning in. Christmas screen, best screen. It's true. It's true. It was a lovely screen. It is now gone. Christmas is for life. Thank you, Pa. Okay, so that everyone else can see the chat if you're watching us on catch-up. You heathens watch us live, obviously. Here we go. Here's everyone else. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to 2022. We were late starting in 2022. That's hence we're here today because of all of our general busyness and commitments and all the rest of it. And we just didn't want to face the new year. I'll be honest. I was just like, really? We're in another year already. Do we have to? Okay, fine. But we are here now. Here, Thursday, the 20th of January. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's been
January.
It's January. That's
right.
What January's like. Ugh, January. Here we are. Welcome to Slice and Dice with the Manylands campaign. I'm joined, of course, by the lovely players here. 5 out of 6. Now, this is the regular 5 because Angelique has been missing for a while due to her circumstances. However, I do have some news on that, along with a lot of other news because it's been a hot minute since we've live streamed. So I'll just bowl straight into our shameless plug.
Shameless plug!
So as I was saying, Angelique has been out of action for a while because she's been various sort of personal stuff, and she's been in other countries, been all over the place. But I have been told, I have talked to her, check in, see how she's doing, and she apparently could be back as early as the beginning of February, which is not far away. So we should have Brina back in the campaign before you even know it. No pressure on her, of course, as to when she's going to come back, but it will happen. It's in the pipeline. We will have a 6-person party again. In the meantime, however, we do, of course, as those of you who've tuned in before will know, we do have guest stars on here sometimes. And we had one such guest star in our festive one-shot, a very Manylands Festmas, the one, the only, the wonderfully talented Adele Dazeem. No, I mean Ethan Lawrence, of TV's Ethan Lawrence was here. That was a retro callback reference there. Ethan Lawrence from TV's, he's from Bad Education. He's, of course, from Afterlife Season 3, which dropped very recently on Netflix. He joined us for our little Manylands Festmas, along with some of the regulars here. In fact, we had Marshall, James, and Dan all available for that, playing different characters. It was a one-shot, but set in the same world of the Manylands, in the icy north beyond the Great Ice Reef. And so events in that one-shot tie in to the main campaign in the future because it is set around Festmas, which our party has not arrived at in the timeline yet. So it will, in fact, affect things going forward. You can check out that one-shot right now on our YouTube channel. There's a link to that on our Twitch page as it says catch up, and there's the YouTube logo. Click on that. It'll take you straight to our YouTube channel. We're gunning for this year, cross fingers, get to 100 YouTube subscribers, and then we can get our own personal sort of web address. So instead of a series of letters and numbers, we could actually have youtube.com/slice&d6. That would be amazing. So if you are not already supporting us on YouTube, please do that. We really would appreciate it. So that's one shameless plug out of the way.
Shameless plug!
Gotta keep them coming. Now, you may have noticed on the notice board on my left here that, although it's not up currently, one of the rolling panels we have up are for our good friends at Roll for Mischief, who are also in the chat tonight. Hello, guys. I've got a little shameless plug for them because their new campaign, new start, Season 2 of Roll for Mischief, started on Tuesday. It's only 2 days ago, so you can catch up right now on their Twitch channel. It's one of our recommended Twitch channels, so you can click on the link, it'll take you straight to them, or you could just search twitch.tv/rollformischief and it'll take you straight there. I've just had a quick glance before the start of the stream today, but it is on my list of things to catch up on. They play Tuesdays at 8 p.m. GMT or 12 p.m. Pacific time, or whatever time code you're in, just work it out after that. With their new campaign called The Shroud of Arrakon, or Arrakon. Yeah. Arrakon. I'm sorry, guys, if I've pronounced it wrong, but anyway, the Shroud of Arrakon, which seems to be a bit more of a horror kind of feel to it. There's some all of the characters have secrets to hide, have something to hide. It's all very intriguing. They've got a new website up as well with all the information about their new campaign, including the new characters. You can find all the information on their Twitch page. So when you're not listening to us or tuning into us, go check out Roll for Mischief. And we should be doing some fun collaboration with them in the future as well. We'll see how the stars align. Okay, next.
Shameless plug.
Got to rattle through them. Okay, so I did promise before the Christmas break that I would get onto our next episode of Baldoa on that's our podcast series of Baldoa. I have been working away on the mix for that. Currently about halfway through, but I am delving away at that, and that should be going up within the next few weeks. I'll keep you abreast of when that next podcast episode goes live. It's a whole sort of soundscape. I just love getting all these extra sounds in there. It's me narrating it. We've got a lovely sort of soundtrack, and then accompanying. It's a real a narrative kind of series compared to our live streams, which of course is us rolling dice and all the rest of it. Baldo is more of an account of what's been happening through the eyes of the players, of the characters in that world. So a bit of a different feel to it. It's good fun and nice short episodes as well, sort of around the 15 to 20 minute mark. So very handy to listen to on your commute.
Shameless plug.
Okay, and then where are we? I've got a whole list of shameless plugs right here in this book, and now I can't. Where are we on to? Okay, so this is going to be our last session on our current slot. However, next week I will be back. This time, that's 7:30 on Thursday, with another Previously in the Manylands, catching up on everything that happened from session 76 through to session 80 by sort of batch of 5, because we've done 5 sessions since then. So it's time for me to catch up on everything and give you a little peek behind the DM screen as well. So there's plenty of good stuff and tidbits for you to enjoy. Come join me for that this time next week here on the channel. And as I said, this will be our last Manylands session at this slot because, well, there are a number of factors involved in it, availability being quite a major one, but we will in fact have a new slot. But before I get to that, because I feel like that's one of the last things I should talk about, I'm going to open it up to the guys here. Do any of you have any shameless plugs for today's session?
I have a delayed one.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
Towel.
In case you haven't noticed, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach came out, and I'm in it, and I play 3 characters. I play the main, 3. I play the main character, the main player character, Gregory, as well as Roxanne Wolf, which is very popular, and the murderous Vanny. It's all very exciting, and that's really cool. And I'll also have more shameless plugs probably next month. What could it
Shameless
be?
plug.
Microphone, that'd be great.
Or considering this is you, it could be literally anything.
Literally anything.
Like she's everywhere.
Everywhere. I am also, I guess this could be like a teaser more than a shameless plug. And this is, I'm actually currently in some pretty serious talks to do an online sort of live signing session. So people will be able to order prints, and then I'll basically mark them with a pen. I might put my name down. I might put something else. Find out. But that should happen sometime. Maybe that's what I'll write. But it would be a live streamed signing, and it'll probably happen in the latter part of February.
At this rate, you're going
There
to
might even be some other merch available.
Ooh.
I know, it's so crazy.
So you need to get like your signature on a stamp, and then you can just bang them out because so many.
Yeah.
It's so much easier.
That for that personal service right there.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate you. Bam.
Bam. Excellent. Another. Bam. Yeah. Sorted.
No, I will definitely scribble on them myself. But it also talking about the stuff that'd be signing. We got some pretty cool artwork lined up. So.
Excellent.
Yay.
Excellent. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Marta. Anyone else got any shameless plugs before we jump in tonight? No?
I think so. I bought too many dice over the holidays to promote. If I started promoting one, then we'd be here a while. As I'm like, and these pretty ones, and these pretty ones.
You could just you should like tease them up each week. Just have like dice of the week or a dice of the session, so because we're fortnightly, aren't we?
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Chat's pretty funny.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Roll for Mischief. Now I'm going to question any signed item we ever get from Jack. Yes, it's probably. I think you should. I think you should question everything. Okay, let's never take anything for granted. Anytime anything's signed, especially print out. Just think about it. Think about it. All right. So leading swiftly on from that on shameless plugs.
Shameless plug.
One for me, which is the reason why the main reason for me why we're moving time slots is because it conflicts with my rehearsal schedule. For I should be performing in a musical production in sweet old Somerset, back in the West Country, my homeland, back that way, which is Our House, the Madness musical, in which I play the lead. Which I'm very excited about because I love a bit of madness, and I get to play Joe Casey, who we follow his life from age 16 up to age sort of 25, where he makes a pivotal decision, age 16, kind of a sliding doors moment, where from that point on we see what happens if he went one way with the decision and what happens when he went the other way with the decision. So it means I'll be playing two versions of the same character, a lot of quick changes. I'm probably going to lose a little bit of weight unwittingly just from all of the running around. It should be good fun. If you guys are in the vicinity nearer the time, I will, of course, give you the details on how to get tickets if you want to come and see it. I really would appreciate it. So because the rehearsals are on Thursday nights, it means that we, from February, are moving to a new time slot, a brand spanking new time slot, Wednesday nights from 7 p.m. Whoop, whoop, woo.
Ooh.
What we do with this
What?
time? It's a completely new day to this. When we first started 2 years ago, we were on Monday nights. Then we moved to Thursday nights. Now we're moving to Wednesday nights. By the time this campaign wraps up, I'm fairly confident we'll have covered most weekdays. So, yeah, well, we're just working our way through them systematically. No, not at all systematically, in a very chaotic order, but we're working our way through it nonetheless.
What was the date we're changing again?
So our first session in February will be our first Wednesday slot. That's Wednesday the 2nd of February. So very beginning of February, off with a bang.
Update all future events. Why did that not work?
Yes. Amend your calendars accordingly. That'd be much appreciated. And I will talk more about this in our in the previously in the Manylands recap next week. But you may remember in December I was having some real problems with our merch store, getting access to it. Apparently, fortunately it's all back and working again and under my control. So instead of having a January sale, this year we're going to have a February sale. So I'll give you more details about that in the next time that I'm live streaming with you all, and we should have some new lines in to reflect where we are now in Richir. Should be some new stuff coming in, perhaps a couple of the brands that have been mentioned during the group's travels through Herthia might make an appearance. We shall see. But without any further ado, that's it. Finally, of shameless plugs from me.
Shameless plug.
I did say to the guys, I thought maybe 8 o'clock we'd probably be starting the game. Well, here we are, just before 8 o'clock. And we're going to jump in with tonight's session here in the Manylands. our final shameless plug should be for a new intro video, which I've been feverishly working on. Those of you who are subscribed to our Discord have already been able to see it. You've had a sneak peek from the beginning of this week. That's right. If you're not already on our Discord, there are many reasons to do so. One of those is the sneak peeks, but it's mainly for the memes is why you should join the Discord. Definitely, all about the memes. There's a link to that, of course, on our Twitch page as well. But now, for those of you who are not on our Discord, here we go. We're going to launch in with the Manylands campaign and our new intro for 2022. Whoop, whoop, woo. Woo. And we are back. So, sorry, I just caught Dad completely off guard. There. Whoa! I was here the whole time. Previously, in the Manylands campaign. So, after concluding their meeting with Balthazar Bolt, commander of the Enforcers, who has contracted the party, you might say, on behalf of the king to investigate the assassination attempt against the king's life the previous year, an assassination attempt which left the Queen, Prince, and one of the captains of the Royal Guard slain by some wine that had been poisoned. And demanding answers. The king suspects that it could in fact be one of the clan leaders within the city, who are also members of the Dragon Council, rather than it being Burekrin spies, which is the official line. Our party originally have travelled over from Burekrin and were suspected of being spies, for those of you who are new to the campaign. But through a trial by combat, they proved their innocence and defeated the Hydra, otherwise known as the Seven Depths, and since then have gained celebrity status as pit champions and won a shed load of money because they bet on themselves at the casino at very reasonable odds. Anyway, concluding the meeting with Balthazar Bolt and been giving a comrock, which you can place in your ear to contact him directly, as well as other members of the Enforcers, or anyone else with a comrock for that matter who's on that network. You guys decided to do a little bit of shopping and gather yourselves together to decide which avenue to go down first, which of the 6 members of the Dragon Council, or in fact General of the Royal Guard, Macklin Funch, to investigate first. There was a lot of decision-making to be made. But first of all, Malar needed to get some incense, so you guys headed to the only temple-like building in the city, because open worship is kind of banned in Rachir, except for funeral rites. And so you went to the mausoleum, where Malar may have accidentally called the priest there a heathen, but in fairness, the priest not so accidentally called him a heathen for supporting the 8. Religious differences aside, you managed to get some incense, leave very hurriedly, and Seth also met an old contact from the Moonrunners. It seems has travelled across from Burekrin to Rachir, to Herthia, the capital, on instructions from Greenblade, so it seems, who had organised some escape for you guys should things go south in the capital. Then from there, you guys, Seth used message to contact this Dragonborn and arranged a meeting with the Moonrunners later this evening at the Salacen Inn in the green sector of the city, which, as you know, is very clandestine and mysterious, as the whole sector is covered in a haze. So a good place to do secret meetings. You then continued back to your base camp, which is at the moment is at the inn in the bronze sector known as Bronzalurgy. But Malar, being the philanthropic and generous person that he is, wanted to help some of the poor of the bronze sector, and particularly took notice of a very tall dragonborn in a very long trench coat with a hood. But as it turned out, it was 3 kobolds in a trench coat all along, and it was in fact a trap set by the Krafti Kru, who are pickpockets who supposedly work for the Kobold Kingdom. They attacked Malar whilst Leobrin and Seth were trying to sort out the orb that has been following them yet again. Brucon swiftly acted. Neris put out a fire, which was very out of character, but then Martha wasn't here, so it's fine. Brucon got onto some rooftops, did some monk shit. Malar managed to overcome the trap, and by the end of it, along with some pratfalls of the kobolds, some of which fell off the roof and died, and some of which fell off the roof and didn't die, but mortally wounded themselves or broke ligaments and etc., you walked away with 6 kobold charges, 6 kobold captives, if you like. And I think you decided from there you were going to head on to back to Bronzalurgy with your 6 captives. That's kind of where we left things. So it's over to you, everyone. At this point, what are you doing?
Oh, we're not taking these guys back to where we live. We need to drop them off, right? We need to get rid of this lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are a distraction. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we could use some servants.
Seth has removed their weapons and has given them to one of the general guards of Herthir.
I really thought you were going to say the general public, and I was like, "Here you go, children. Have some swords."
The general public are too busy clapping and applauding the pit champions who have.
I think
triumphed.
it's so we're kind of right now we're sort of super. We're just out in the middle of the street with everyone looking on. So I think Brucon's response to that is, the kind of the classic, the royal wave, wrist on a swivel, and just kind of saying yes, thank you, and making a big meal out of all this, as he kind of ushers everyone along and looks for a kind of corner to go around out of the kind of the eyesight of the adoring masses, as it were.
Oh, you want to take like a sort of back alley route?
Brucon's thinking here is that he wants to. I'm definitely in agreement with DK about these guys should be dispensed with, but before we throw them over to the tender mercies of the town guard or the town watch or whatever, it's probably worth finding out if we can expect more of these shenanigans on a regular basis in our future.
Right.
So basically, looking for a kind of a quiet spot to interrogate them a bit.
Oh, okay. Yes. Interrogation. Yes, of course.
Just a bit.
Just a tiny
little interrogation. Just a small Iron Maiden, maybe a kind of a little portable rack.
We're not talking torture.
Intimidation.
Torture's a loaded term. We're talking, interrogation.
Yeah. What's a little bit of interrogation between friends?
Are you like doing this sneaky away from the guard, or they can't see that you're taking them to interrogate?
Are there guards?
There's a guard who's been given a load of weapons, and then just looked a bit confused and started heading away with the weapons. Round
okay, well,
corner.
sounds like he's a problem for someone else to deal with. So, yeah.
We'll call the distraction, so you're fine. I'm gonna grab Leo's hand, and I'm gonna raise up and go, Leobrin, hero of the pit champions.
Yes. Hello.
He turns around and is like, "What gives, bro?" And then just kind of no.
The Seth, you're aware with your detect magic still up that the orb is still there as well.
Don't speak Draconic.
cast tongues on me.
Hold on. Do I have tongues? Do I have tongues?
Mala
I do
has
have
tongues,
tongues.
doesn't he?
Mala has
Yeah.
tongues currently
I
prepared.
have tongues. I have
But
tongues.
Leo's got it too. Okay, great.
I'll cast tongues.
Leo had it first.
So your main tongue, and then a spare tongue, and then the weekend tongue.
Yes.
And I'm going to
love a bit of weekend tongue.
The hero of the pit fiends, the friend to all, helping take these weapons off the streets, friends to all. And I'm going to start throwing some like bronze coins around the crown. So just throwing money to the people and just like, Leoran! And then just back away.
Seth's throwing money away. What? Who are you? What
He's
have you?
so rich, he doesn't know what to do.
And I'm gonna give him a little push towards the crowd. Specifically, like if there's anyone specifically dirty, like children, such like that, more towards them, so that the crowd can sort of applaud and surround the hero.
Can you make a persuasion check with advantage, because you're giving them money? You've already shown your valor, you guys. Like you have reasons to have advantage here.
You're a monster. Pushing me towards a dirty child.
So this is literally the third time I pushed you towards 30. I pushed you towards 30 children after we saved the town.
Yeah. I can sense your alignment shifting to evil. It's fine.
What am I doing? Persuasion check.
Yes,
22.
22. Ooh, very nice. With the 22, yes. The crowds start cheering wildly, clapping more so. The children, seeing Leoberon approach, some of the more timid ones back away a little bit, but their parents sort of usher them forward. Go on. The more boisterous of the children run in and start hugging Leo's legs. So you've got these like 2 feet tall dragonborn and lizard folk and the like, just swarming around you. There's about 8 of them.
While all this is happening,
yes,
Brucon would like to usher these kobolds away with a meaningful look at Malar, aka Translator Man. He has many functions, but is Translator Man not on the cards?
No, Translator Man is. I can do that. I've also got some other stuff up my sleeve if need be, but I'm running along.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure you are multifunctional where questioning people is concerned. But the main thing is you are capable of speaking to these people, which I am not.
Okay.
But yeah, so kind of let's
as is Neris.
while Seth has. Yeah, that's a very good point. I had forgotten that Neris does speak Draconic. Anyway, but yeah, let's usher these people. Let's usher our charges away from the crowd and kind of scan. Brucon wants to scan around for a convenient spot to kind of tuck in and ask some questions of our friends.
Sure. How are you doing this, Brucon? Are you just kind of gesticulating, or are you asking Malar to tell them to, or are you like trying to?
Well, I'm assuming we've got
scare them into doing it. They are apprehended, but cooperative might not. They might not be.
So Neris is gonna cast Mage Hand and just slap them around with it a little bit every time they stop moving.
Little hand of full. I mean, it doesn't do a lot. The Mage Hand, like, it doesn't have a lot. It doesn't have much force behind
but you know
it,
how
it's a
like
little
in
something.
Archer you have like that. Stop it, like that. It's not like one big slap. It's just that. And they go like, ow, 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 ow.
Yeah,
it's just
just
annoying
them.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
irritate them into cooperation.
Okay, I like this. So in which case, who's leading the communication here? So Neris is mage slapping them, should I say?
I will give.
I want a
Brucon
T-shirt.
tongues.
This is Mage
You're
Slap.
gonna give Brucon tongue. So Brucon, with advantage, make an intimidation check, because you are harassing these guys into doing what you want.
Yeah, and also I just beat the shit out of them, several of them,
You have
and
handily
a bunch of their
beat them up,
friends.
yeah. Yes, this
Cool.
is true.
Intimidation with advantage. That is a 13.
Yeah. Okay. They are not the most cooperative, but you do sort of get them to one side. They don't do so quietly, but you do get them to one side under duress. Back down the alley that you came from, there was actually a couple of little side alleys down there, so you could tuck down there.
Based on what I've just checked, so what we have on our hands here, we've got one kind of shaman leader, magic user type, and then the 3 who were the kind of the trenchcoat mob,
if you like. Yes, the trenchcoat mob. Komodo, Critter, and Kevin, for they all introduce themselves, which is very charitable of them.
Cool.
And
well, as
two
Malar
others.
has hit Brucon with the tongues spell, Brucon is going to say, right, well, you and I are going to have a little chat with backup from my friends here. Chop chop, or indeed, and he pulls out his he kind of like, doesn't pull his cookery all the way out, but does kind of like go, yeah, by the way, I do have a sharp implement here, and goes chop chop or chop chop. And points them into the an alleyway or whatever, a little corner out of the way.
Komodo, Critter, and Kevin need no more encouragement than that. They make a beeline for it. They're off. I mean, those guys were cowards anyway. The other three take a little bit more convincing. Particularly the shaman eyes you up a little bit, indignant in defeat, but they do cooperate with enough mage slapping from Neris.
Good chaps.
The last one is just it's just like I'm going. Stop it. And just eventually gets pulled around the corner.
Perfect. Cool. Okay. Well, once there, Brucon's basically gonna buttonhole. He's gonna. I tell you what. Can I make a quick insight check to see which of them is the most? Basically, who's peeing their pants the hardest? Who's the most?
Who's the
intimidated?
Talker, yeah. Okay. Sure. Go for it.
Yeah. Who's the weak link in this chain?
Yeah.
So insight, yeah?
Go for it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. That is... Oh, wow, I rolled the exact same number on the die as I did for the intimidation check. But my insight is one better, so this time it's a 14.
14. Great. So with a 14, you recognise the three, Komodo, Critter, and Kevin, definitely are the most scared. In fact, they've been consistently scared throughout this encounter. If you were to choose one of the three, with a 14, it's hard to pick, but... I don't know, there's something about Kevin, maybe it's the lisp that just makes...
Something about Kevin, okay.
There's something about Kevin that just seems a little easy to manipulate, shall we say. Got to pause right here for one hot second, because Pavel has subscribed for another month. Thank you, Pavel.
Pavel, my G. 15 months.
Matt, it's a 15-month streak now, which at some point, oh my god, right, I'm going to have serious talks with Pavel. This is outrageous. But also, we need to get him onto the stream. We'd get a character, you've got to guest star. It has to happen. It has to happen regardless of the 15 months. But the 15 months, this is insane. Thank you so much. And we're back in the room. All right. Okay, so there's something about Kevin.
So Brucon kind of... scans between the three of them, but is definitely keeping an eye on Kevin in particular. And he kind of, the finger of doom, he starts kind of like prodding them and goes, right, what exactly was all that nonsense about? And how many more of your little friends can we expect to be meeting in the near future?
As Brucon does that, and like Malar sees him doing that, just zone of truth.
The zone! Put him in the zone.
Ah, zone of truth. Lovely. Of all the things I didn't get out, my dice. Brilliant.
How far away did you lead these people?
So they're about 20 feet or so down the alley.
I'm just wondering whether Seth is inside the bubble. Just
Good question. What's the radius of zone of truth?
15 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. I thought it was 30.
Oh, hot dang. All right.
Just outside.
So they need to make charisma saves, is that right?
It's DC 15 charisma save, yeah.
Oh, shit. My metal dice just poured all over the place. Right, here we go. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, there's a pattern here. All right. So unfortunately, because this isn't the from the wand of truth, the irrefutable, it doesn't compel them to tell the truth. They can be evasive if they need to, but you know who's failed, right? Or you know who's succeeded. That's part of the spell, right?
Yes. Let me just double check that. But
they keep on making checks until they fail.
Every 6 seconds, or something like that. Which is yes.
Anybody that fails, I'll be pointing to. I'll sort of tap Brucon and point and be like, "Not that guy. That guy's not in."
Okay, so
just sort of grab them and take them out and bring them back in again.
So the two of them passed. The shaman, and And the one that Malar hoiked, who had broken his leg after falling off the roof, Malar had healed him up. Those two have succeeded. The rest have failed. So Komodo Critter and Kevin all failed. And all look rather intimidated, as does the other captive as well of the kobolds. The trio kind of look from one to the other like, don't say anything. They've done a spell, don't say anything. And Kevin just looks at the other two, his tongue sort of licking his metal fangs. And, but they might kill us if we don't say anything. At least we would say something. We should tell them why we were sent here. Kevin, no, don't say anything.
Brucon leans in and kind of rolls his shoulder, does a sort of like a passive flex, and says, I really do recommend saying something, really anything. I mean, you saw what happened to your friends back there. It's definitely in your interest to make this easy on yourselves. Can I have a stab at a persuasion check to try and move things forward?
You can.
Splendid. That is a 23.
Oh, hot dang. You appeal to Kevin's good nature and kind of shrugs off the other two.
Self-preservation instinct, definitely, but yes.
Yes, like a true politician, throwing everyone else under the bus to save himself. Satire. Kevin looks up to you. We were sent here by the Kobold Kingdom. We had heard that you were their pit champions and that you may have lots of money and may do bad things in the city. So we were meant to spy on you and take some of your things if we could. So, yeah.
Right. So when you say the Kobold Kingdom, this is a full-blown society of kobolds, yes? Or is this a gang name?
Yes, it's a kobold society underground in the sewers of the city. Kevin, shut up! But they're after he's gonna kill us if we don't do anything. Kevin, one more word and I will kill you. And I can tell the truth right now. Okay. Jack time. First Jack time of 2022.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. The best Jack time. That was amazing. That was absolutely incredible. Okay, Brucon sort of like has a and then turns to Malar, and then with a slight kind of pre-wince on his face, also to Neris, and kind of goes, right, so that's a thing. Can Malar understand this, or no? Because you cast tongues on
He cast tongues
me.
on
you.
So he's doing a lot of
Brucon,
chatter.
Okay, so slight retcon of that. Brucon kind of turns to Neris and does a thing, and then turns to Malar and basically, explains what we've just been told, and then turns back to the miscreants and says, right, so you were going to try and monitor us and steal from us, and your genius plan for carrying this out was 3 of you standing on each other's shoulders in a trench coat, and then having us come over and say hello. All right, so great.
They puff out their chests, the three of them. The one with the spiky hair that's been put up with tar steps forward and says, yes, it was my plan, for we are the Krafti Kru, and we are feared, revered, and scared throughout the Dragonborn Kingdom.
I'm sorry, hair? This guy has hair?
They have
He's a
hair
hairy kobold.
they have a hair of a sort, yes.
Okay.
Neris just looks at him like just with a raised eyebrow, like just no.
Okay, Brucon kind of looks back and forth between the others, and then turns to between the other two party members, and then turns back to the kobolds and says, "Right, I'm gonna be as direct and open as I can with you. You are suicidal morons, and it is in your own interests to go back to your doubtless adorable society of kobolds and explain to them that this is a terrible idea, and that you should stop it. Bearing in mind current conditions, what would you say the odds of you doing that and it working are?"
Kamado. And Critter, who's had the spiky hair, turns to the one with the obscenely large spike through his eyebrow. Look at me. I don't know maths. I don't understand what it means. They both look at Kevin and goes, not very high.
Right. That's what I thought. Okay. So here's the thing, my friends. I am your best friend right now, in that I really would prefer not to horribly kill you. My friend here, Brucon gestures to Daenerys, could and would evaporate you all in an instant if she wished. So help me to help you.
She's just doing a little bit of like.
Yeah.
Experimenting with the burning hands.
Just going, this is the size of the fireball that I will cast to destroy you all.
Like directors sometimes go like, to see
scoping the shot.
Yeah.
They see a little flicker of the orange in the red eyes, and
just doing a little bit of trigonometry.
Yeah.
Angle and that angle.
The angle.
If I stand this far back,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like basically a firing range, which is incredibly intimidating.
Like she takes a couple steps back, maybe.
Yeah.
Checks the wind.
across. Yeah.
Checks the wind.
Yeah, what's the windage? Like, leans down, picks up some dust, and just drops it just to get the. Okay, Brucon turns back to the. Brucon kind of like fixes Kevin in his turn and says, "All right, tell you what. What is the Kobold Kingdom's interest in the pit champions? Why us?"
They have lots of money, but that's what I know. You are new in town, so you don't know about us, and that is all we're told about it. But the Krafti Kru could seek new employment, right, guys?
Looks at the other two, and then they're kind of like looking from Brucon to Kevin to Brucon to Kevin to Brucon.
If you were to pay us, we could work for you, yes.
You might not. Okay, I'm going to reevaluate. You're slightly less stupid than I thought. You tried to rob us, and now you've come up with another way to get money out of us. No. However,
yes.
If you're, I might be persuaded to let you away with only very mild first-degree burns from my friend here. If you can offer us something helpful in response. So your underground society. What you spy on a lot of people, do you? Or is this your first time?
Yes. No, we are more pickpockets than spies, but we do a bit of both. It is a difficult. Money is tight. Is it ignominy? Ignominy. It's a difficult ignominy.
Oh man, trying real hard not to like these guys, and it's really tough.
They're too adorable.
Okay, Brucon says, "None of you move a muscle. Wait right here," and he kind of pulls the others away just a short distance so he can have a little muttered conversation, and says to Malar and Neris, a brief recap for Malar's benefit, and then it's kind of like this. He sort of hops up.
They're both taller than you, yeah.
It's taller than me, so he sort of hops up and hangs on like Malar's shoulder or something, and says, "Right, what do we do? These guys might possibly be able to, they know the town better than we do. Maybe they might be able to uncover some kind of lead connected to this whole conspiracy. Worth bothering with, or not bothered?"
Oh, now that's not a terrible idea, Mr. Brucon. But so long as it's only in that capacity, we keep them at arm's length. I'm not interested in cohabiting with these ne'er-do-wells.
No, I understand. And Neris, are you willing to not evaporate them on that basis?
Fine.
Soundboard.
That's good enough. And Brucon drops down and strolls back over to the group and says, "Right, well, here's the situation, fellows. I think I might just possibly be able to let you away from here intact. But in order to do that, I'm definitely going to need some sort of assurance that you can assist us with our own goals here. Now, and he's addressing Komodo, Critter, and Kevin here. He's aware of the others, but his focus is on the weakest link still. He says, look, I'm going to lay it out straight for you. Every time you guys come for us, your numbers are going to be reduced. I don't want that. I'm pretty sure you don't want that. So I'm willing to offer, on behalf of my pit champion, side note, possible party name, and we're back in the room. On behalf of my possible pit champion companions, I'm willing to offer you a deal. You call off your attacks on us. I am willing to discuss some kind of. I Bart want to say quid pro quo. But well, do you know what? I'm willing to discuss some
a very
sort of
fancy
deal.
dwarf. I think the equivalent would there'll be an equivalent.
Yeah, this is all getting
dwarvish
magically
phrase.
translated. Yeah, this is all getting magically translated. So there's a kind of like, if there is a Rachiri phrase that corresponds to quid pro quo that they might know, he's going with that. But anyway, I'm willing to negotiate an arrangement where you get something out of this, on the condition that you promise to help us out and to stop this stupid suicidal spying and pickpocketing quest on us. Are any of you able to agree to that, or do I need to go and speak to someone higher up?
So when you come back, as you come back over to the kobold, you hear the three of them discussing. They go,
What is first degree burns? Is that the worst one? Is that really bad? Yes, I think that's a really bad one. That's the worst one. You should go with what they say. Okay.
and then
I'll take it.
and then when you you ask them the question, and they say they take a moment to confer between them.
Just a note, while they're doing that, Brucon is definitely keeping an eye on the shaman dude.
The shaman dude still, Malo would be aware, keeps passing. He keeps passing his zone of truth checks. I've rolled 7. And
that's fine. I'm just trying to. That's fine. Brucon's more focused on. Brucon's more focused on whether he's kind of. What I mean, basically, what's going on behind his eyes? Is he, is he kind of going along with this, exactly as long as he needs to, or what's he, where's he at? I think is where
you can make an insight check.
I would like to do that. That is a 13.
It's very hard to read.
Yeah, it's still not getting anything. Yeah,
not getting a lot from him. He's not giving much away. But the three confer before Komodo, one with a spiked eyebrow, steps forward, puffs out his chest, and says,
We of the Krafti Kru would accept your proposal. Proposal, yes, that is the word. Proposal, yes. We will.
Yes, well done.
Yes, the Krafti Kru, of which we are members, will accept. You should know, though, that him there, points at the shaman, he is not one of the Krafti Kru. He is directly from the kingdom, so he may not go along with what you're saying because their cause. But we are happy to not not cross you, and we could pickpocket other people instead. We could take other people's things. There are lots of rich people in the gold sector we could steal from instead of you. That trench coat trick works very well.
I bet it does. Okay, Brucon spits into his hand and holds it out.
Komodo spits into your hand and then shakes it.
Fine, good enough. Brucon shakes hands with all of them and says, "Run along now, and don't get into any more trouble, or it will end extremely badly for you."
Okay. We were just going now, aren't we, guys? Let's go. Come on now.
Yeah,
we'll
quickly.
go get into trouble somewhere else.
Kevin
And as they
wavers
go-
out of the three, but go ahead, yeah.
Well, so I was just going to say, as they go, Brucon turns to the shaman and says, "Right, now it seems to me that you and I need to have a conversation as well."
Sure. Kevin wavers and comes over to you, sort of tugs at your arm.
He says, if you have nothing else to do with these three, you could take them to the what they call him, the Lord General, Mr. Xerox in the Black Sector. They have a jail there. You could take him to the prison. And they'll keep them out of the way. Also, I think they have been trying to get into the Kobold tunnels for some time, so him, could be useful. Bye now.
Brucon kind of like struggles to maintain his poker face at the at that revelation, and goes, "Yes, off you go."
Yep,
But he's maintaining eye contact with the shaman at all times, and kind of addresses him directly and says, "It seems to me that we've got off on rather the wrong foot. I'm Brucon Ree," and holds his hand out. "What's your name?"
He just keeps eyeballing you. You notice he sways a little bit, possibly due to the injuries, but possibly due to age. Does look rather old, as you can see, wrinkles and the like.
I revoked my name a long time ago. We have no names when we get these powers. We are agents of the Kobold Kingdom.
I see. Is there a way you would like me to address you?
No.
All right. I'm getting the feeling this is going to be a lot of work. Again, I'll say the same thing to you I said to the idiots back there. I'm very keen not to cause you any further harm, but at the same time, if you're going to insist on remaining a threat, then you sort of leave me with no choice. So, again, help me to help you. What? Can you tell me anything about this cause? What is it you're after here?
So now Malar, he has failed the spell. He has failed Zone of Truth. He regards you for a moment, long sort of the 5-yard stare. It's quite long for him. Before sort of the cheeks part a little bit.
I would die for the Kobold Kingdom. We are here to overthrow the Dragonborn Kingdom and take it for our own. For we are the true servants of the dragons, not the Dragonborn. And we are the rightful occupiers of this city. Yes, so I will do what I must. Kill me if you must, but you cannot stop what we have planned. If I die, others will take my place.
Oh, what's Brucon's read on this dude's current health?
Oh, he's a strong wind would probably kill him at this point.
Cool. Brucon will go try to subdue him, knock him unconscious.
Okie dokie. You can make the attack roll with advantage because they are currently restrained by you guys.
Yep. Okay. Great. But my bonuses will come to my aid. So 16.
16 is going to hit, yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, with that pow, he's out.
Bang. And before he even starts falling, Brucon slips round and has him like over the shoulder, sort of fireman carry-esque. Turns back to Neris and Malar and says, "My friends, I think we might have a lead here. Shall we carry on?"
Oh, indeed. Let us get Mr. Seth and Mr. Leobrin and continue about our day.
There are 2 other captives who have not done anything yet, but they're there.
Oh yes, of course. Sorry, I'd forgotten about. And sort of Brucon turns to them and says, "What about you? Are you willing to die for the cause as well?"
They both look at each other, back at you.
No, so we won't be seeing you or your or your kind of direct partners anytime soon.
They nod vigorously.
Brucon turns to Malar. Have they failed the Zone of Truth as well?
Yes, they both have.
Okay, well, I mean, that's good enough for me. Neris?
I'm down.
Cool. All right, well, off you trot. Quickly.
Neris is already, like, just... Neris is already kind of, like, just bored with the whole situation because she didn't get to set anybody on fire.
So dismissive at this point.
And just like, yeah, whatever.
Perfect. Okay,
the two of them hobble off.
Brucon, toodles, and yeah, let's resume our merry way.
Right, so you've got an unconscious kobold shaman over your shoulder, Brucon, and you, with Malar and Neris, rejoin the main thoroughfare in the bronze sector, where Leoberin and Seth are still, were surrounded by a crowd. They're starting to part now, and you observe that Leoberin's once cloak of many fashions is now a cloak of muddy fashions.
No! Why would you do this?
No,
mostly around the base of the cloak rather than the top. Fortunately, or was it a cape? But anyway, yes, your lower half is looking a bit dishevelled and muddy. Your upper half and your ruff are still pristine. Only the children were the ones to really sort of get in your space.
They're the grossest. Adults know how to wash.
Oh, this is all I wanted from today.
About this time, after this conversation has happened and the rest of the party show up, Seth, your detect magic current one would have ended. You can of course recast it because it's one of your invocations, but just let you know.
Yeah. When it ran out, was the orb still there?
Yeah.
Then I'll make sure I'm facing away from it so it can't really see me casting it, and I'll keep casting until I'm sure it's disappeared.
Sure. Cool. So after you recast it, as you notice Malar, Neris, and Brucon reappearing, it disappears.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, if it doesn't disappear within an hour, I get too tired of casting it, and I'm like, fuck it, take and watch.
Let them look.
Yeah. They've earned it.
So yeah, the crowds start to part as the other 3 return to the 2 half-elves with conspicuously only 1 captive unconscious over Brucon's shoulder and the other 5 missing.
Did you kill the others in the interrogation?
No, but I think I was probably able to... Oh, well, Zone of Truth, I'm reasonably confident that we won't be seeing any more of them anytime soon. Sort of made a deal, your life for running away sort of deal. But this chappie here, he I think is a more interesting character. He seems to be caught up in some kind of plot to bring down the kingdom. Seems to me we ought to have a longer conversation with him. Somewhere a little more secure.
And he's not on fire. I'm going to turn to Neris. Well done, holding back.
Hmm.
In Seth, there's going to be I'm sure this is going to come back with interest later on.
This is strong personal growth. We're walking down the street with someone that's not been barbecued. Like this is good.
But I really wanted to.
Well, we barbecue him later.
The smouldering outfit smoulders almost like a pout.
Do you promise?
Yes, we promise. Hey, Mallard, do you need to go to the bar? A couple blocks away?
No, Mr. Seth. You are aware that I can hear everything you're saying, right?
No, you can't. And I'm going to pat him on the back and like, come on, let's go.
Are we going back to bronze allergy, do we think?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
I mean, that does raise the question: what we're going to do with this guy when we get there?
If we go back to Bronzalurgy, will we have enough time to go to the place the Moonrunners said? I'm not familiar with what time it is and the town's layout.
Yeah. So it's early afternoon, to be fair. So you have got quite a while. So yeah, you've got plenty of time to. Sorry, it's more like 3 p.m. You've got, and you said you'd meet them in the evening, so you've got a lot of time. The green sector from the bronze sector, I mean, is probably the furthest across the city, so it'll take you maybe an hour, maybe a bit less if you're pegging. But yeah.
Should we take him?
Carrying probably a bit longer. Yes.
Should we go to the meeting point for the Moonrunners, because they may have information that we can use?
Oh yeah, for sure.
The Kobold. If we go back to Bronzalurgy, then we're carrying an unconscious person there. Then we're carrying an unconscious person somewhere else.
Oh, well, I was gonna. I mean, my goal with this guy was to secure him somewhere, comfortable but not escapable, and reasonably secret. But not with the Royal Guard yet, because we don't know if we can trust them.
Well, we could take him with us to the Moonrunners, and if we can't get information out of him, we could leave him with them.
Isn't the Moonrunner meeting like midnight? I think I missed
It's in
a
the
trick
evening.
Here.
Yeah, they said the evening.
Evening-ish.
Right.
We can get there.
I mean, I don't mind taking the guy with us, but it's walking around with an elderly unconscious kobold over your shoulder is probably going to draw some attention, and the less time we can spend doing that, the better.
Our faces are known, and we're either at best vigilante justice, at worst kidnapping.
Yeah.
Or helping a confused elderly person.
Are you going to weekend at Bernie's, this kobold? Is that what's going to happen right now?
No, absolutely not. Vetoed.
No, if he's awake,
God, it's going to happen.
and he's no, if he's awake and he's like, "Help! They're kidnapping me," we can be like, "Okay, Granddad, he's confused and what's wrong."
Do we have that? What's it? Talking corpse.
Stigmatizing the elderly. Oh god.
Interrogate the dead spell.
I mean, not at the moment, but we could have it.
Oh,
speak with dead. Oh no.
We don't need him alive. We just need his head.
I mean, he was not super cooperative while alive. He's going to be less cooperative. I mean, obviously, I know Brucon doesn't really know this, but I mean, it seems logical that a dead person, even one you're talking to magically, isn't going to be super helpful.
Anyone you kill is probably not going to be helpful to your question.
Yeah. So I think I'm open to alternatives. I'm open to alternatives, but I do think the best move here. I mean, I'll tell you what. The one other thing, Brucon does have the Comrock, so the other option is to get the. I'm terribly sorry, Jack. Thank you. Yes, the enforcers to keep this guy, but we probably want them to keep him, in a sort of a CIA black site kind of situation rather than their main cells. I think.
Yeah, like a safe house somewhere if they have one.
Yeah.
Okay,
tell you what. Oh God, now I'm gonna have to interact with Jake Peralta. All right.
Jip Gibraltar.
Jip Gibraltar. Thank you. I did remember that his last name was Gibraltar, but
legally distinct.
Exactly. Yeah, indeed. Definitely not copyright infringing. Jip Gibraltar.
It's cool. It's cool. Everyone.
Okay.
It's cool.
Okay. Brucon has the Comrock. Did it require attunement?
Yes.
It does require attunement. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't seem to me likely that there's been time to kind of retcon that in. So Brucon. Okay. So we're back in the moment. Brucon sort of kind of eyes slightly unfocused while Seth is advocating for hypnotizing old people, and then kind of like has a flash and goes, "Wait, I've got it." Okay, we need to take this chap back to Bronzalurgy, and I need it's an hour for attunement, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Short rest.
I need an hour, and then I can organise something to keep him under wraps until we're ready to talk to him, and then we can go see the Moonrunners. Sound good to everyone?
Let's go.
Yep. Savage.
Do it.
All right, to the pub.
Do it.
Back to Bronzalurgy. All right. Cool.
I don't think
so
a plan can go wrong when it starts with "to the pub."
I mean, if a D&D session can start with it, then a plan can start with it too, right? So, you arrive at a tavern. No. So you arrive back at Bronzalurgy. The bar itself is at this time is relatively quiet. Most of the bronze sector are still hard at work. Very industrious sector, as you know, and you see plenty of smoke billowing from the chimneys of the various blacksmiths, metal workers, and all the rest of it. You notice that there are a few, as you head in that direction, you do notice you're being flanked by a few of the sort of down and outs of Björkren, of Herthir, who are all heading in a certain direction, not to the tavern. They're actually going past it, and they seem to be starting to gather around a building just up the street from you. Anyway, you go in, and you see the surly innkeep, whose name I still don't think you know at this point because he doesn't speak much. Leather apron, arms folded, just nods acknowledgement at you all as you enter, sees Brucon with the kobold, takes a moment, just nods towards the stairs, just take him up there. Sorry about you're muted.
Apologies. Am I coming through okay now?
Yes.
Yeah. Brucon nods to the dude and flicks him a jade dragon as a kind of for the service, and merrily troops up the stairs to find his room.
All right. He raises an eyebrow.
Everything's
and
fine. He's just a little unwell.
Good.
No.
Just keep quiet.
He's our friend.
It's kind of looking at the studded armor that this guy's wearing. Just gestures to the stairs.
Anyway.
Off you go.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. So you guys trot upstairs to your rooms. You are aware that there are at least 8 rooms here at the inn. You've obviously rented 5 of them, and there's a 6th one for Brina as well. So you can go to your various rooms, or did you want to gather into one of the rooms? What was your plan?
I mean, Brucon just needs a short rest to attune to the Comrock. Don't see any reason why that.
Where do you want to put the dude? In with you, Brucon?
I mean, in the room with me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
yep.
Tied up, obviously.
Sure, you've got plenty of rope.
Yeah, tied up and gagged.
You can use one of the pillowcases to gag him. That's fine.
Oh yeah, okay, stuff it into. Okay, yeah.
Roll it up and.
I'm thinking about the logistics. Now I'm thinking about the logistics of gagging something with a snout.
A snout, yeah. It has to be more in the jaw.
It's like a
bridle. A bit,
horse.
sorry. A bit, not a bridle. That's the other bit. Yes.
Like
a bit. Champing a bit, yeah.
This is getting oddly kinky.
Yeah, right. It's getting raunchy, isn't it?
Exactly the right amount of kinky. Okay.
Hey.
A kobold shaman with a bit in his mouth.
It's
cool.
Hey, we've got lots of dragons. We've had lots of dragons, not many dungeons. Now it's time.
For those of you first time. If it's your first time tuning in, welcome to Slice and Dice. Putting the kinkiness back into D&D.
Well,
putting the dungeon back into the dungeon.
One piece of good news: we do now have a name. Oh.
Yeah, sorry. I just had a moment and I had to exclaim. Please continue.
One piece of good news is we do now have a name for this guy. So Brucon calls to Seth and goes, "Seth, you're particularly dexterous. Can you subdue the gimp?"
So I might have something for it. And grabs the graphite slate.
Yes, well done, good call.
Now that's thinking with portals. Love it.
No, that's entirely Malor. DK's doing because he reminded me of it. I completely forgot, so I will not take credit for that.
Things, you guys.
Good work all round.
Why don't we do this? Even though I might want to wash it after this is done, I don't know. Have it.
So you're gonna summon the graphite slate.
Yeah.
You pull out your tiny little piece of graphite and then summon the big old
summoning
slate.
it.
this sort of the arcane tentacles kind of wrap round the kobold, strap him to the slate, and it's still the same size. So it's like 6 feet tall, but it's the bonds are the right size for the kobold, and, like in the right places.
Is it just me, you guys, or is this really creepy?
A moment of
5
self-awareness
people
from the
surrounding
party.
a little kobold on a bondage table. It's like a Thursday.
Like, are we going too far with this sometimes? I feel like we are.
I definitely feel like this is not heroic. I am feeling uncomfortable.
I mean,
You
we're
know
not
what?
killing
Me
him
too.
yet.
Like, I'd be more comfortable with the killing than I am with this. I don't know. It's weird.
Should we give him a knife? Give him a chance.
Wait.
That is
is
a lovely Seth callback, by the way. I
It's like-
acknowledge
it's
that,
like-
James.
It's like Neris and Seth are standing over this kobold, just like.
Are we the baddies?
Yeah, but
this
also like, should we kill him? Is that kinder?
Sure. I mean, if your conscience will be assuaged by murdering a defenseless old man, then that's between you and your god. But from my perspective, this is intrigue, folks. It gets a little murky.
Neris,
You know
as you have this reflection, and vocalize it, just for a moment, you feel like a heavy gauntlet just grab you, just touch you on the shoulder, not like in a threatening way, just like almost like a reassuring pat on the shoulder. But you look and there's nothing there.
I need to go to bed.
Could you make a either a religion or a history check? Your choice, please.
Let me just have a quick gander on my character sheet.
Yes, they're both
yes.
intelligence
Pretty sure you've
based. I think
never
so. It depends
made
if you've got
one of these checks
proficiency.
yet.
No, I have. I know I've done history checks before. I just can't remember what's better. So it's a history or
Or religion.
a religion. Oh, it's the same. So whatever.
Cool.
Let's call it history.
Just roll. Yeah, let's go. For
Row, darling. 14.
It's hard to place. I feel like it's maybe like a memory or a dream. You're not quite sure what, but a heavily armored figure just seems to set something off in the back of your mind, and you're not sure why exactly. That's all you get, I'm afraid.
Okay. All right. So there it just goes like a little bit. I need to go trance a bit. So I'm gonna go to my room.
Cool.
You guys
yep.
do what you gotta do. Unless we only have the one room and I forgot something.
No,
we
you
got
each
multiple.
have a room.
Okay.
The only issue is Neris, as you leave the room, the slate starts following you.
Oh, damn it.
Amazing.
You are our jailer.
We can throw a tablecloth over him.
I didn't
Right,
think
I
this
guess-
would actually come up as a
Really
problem,
good
but I love
magic
it.
At least one of you is staying with me because I'm not sleeping with that alone next to me. Please.
Oh, Ms. Neris, I'll assist you.
Can somebody drag some sheets over here or something? It's just
Yeah,
we don't need to share a bed.
No, that's fine. Yeah, Malar will.
It's only for an hour anyway, guys. You don't need to sleep
Yeah,
necessarily.
this is an hour.
Okay, so Malar, you're going to head with Neris to her room. Fortunately, your rooms are next to each other anyway, so that makes it
great.
relatively straightforward. The other three who are currently
ask a
still in the room. Yes, go ahead, James.
Am I like at the last legs of still having tongues on me? Like, has it been over an hour, or would I still have just?
Yeah, you've still got it. It hasn't been an hour yet.
I don't think I need a short rest because in that fire I was on the street and just firing blasts at people. Can I bugger off for a little bit and just go see what that crowd was forming at? Because I still have tongues on me, so I actually understand what they're saying.
Of course you can. Yeah, you can by all
good
means do
shout.
that. So after Neris and Malar leave the room, you can follow them out, as it were. However,
I realised this was a pointless endeavour if I couldn't understand any of the language.
makes sense. Yeah. You before you get out of the room, Seth, you hear the clang and gloop of a tankard dropping down in the hallway, and the contents spilling out down in the corridor just outside of the room. Neris and Malar, as you exit the room with your slate with the kobold on floating out of it, floating alongside you, you see one dragonborn patron who just completely stunned by this display drops their tankard on the floor, like incredibly shocked about this magical nonsense you guys are doing, and he's just frozen to the spot.
Valid.
Sorry, they're just changing bedrooms.
And then you just push past him, and he's still there, like yeah. And you just walk down the stairs.
I'm just gonna turn back. Have fun, you kids, and just leave.
Yeah.
Like Nair's just like smolders past him, like just like whatever. Or
excuse me, just go to the room. The three of you go into the room. Neris, Malar, and the Gimp go to the room with the graphite slate. Yeah. Thank you. By the way,
that is a clip for Twitter.
Yeah. There we go.
If anyone wants to animate this, if anyone likes doing like little animated segments, I think the floating bondage table is an excellent sequence.
To think that was a homebrew magic item and it was not intended for this purpose, but oh, here we are. Creative use of the items is
so few things are, and yet. So that leaves Brucon and Leobrin
currently in the room. Leobrin, did you want to short rest? Did you want to go back to your room, or is there anything else you wanted to do?
I would love to short rest. I don't mind where it is, as long as I can find some way of cleaning. Cleaning would be great.
Cleaning would be great.
Clean clothes.
There is a bathroom at the other end of the upstairs, so you could go and use that and wash out your clothes in there.
Excellent. Yes.
I will note that Brucon's probably going to be spending his short rest attuning with the Comrock, but also using the singing bowl. And if you're healing, are you rolling hit dice for your short rest, Leo, or no?
I don't think I've taken any damage.
Okay.
I'm literally just regenerating spells because they're all gone.
But also Neris and Malar, who are still in the vicinity, if you are short resting, I think you would get the benefits if you are doing any hit dice, because you're within range of Brucon. You'll be able to hear the singing bowl. So.
Cool. Okay, so everyone who is healing during their short rest gets an additional 4 hit points from the singing bowl.
Thank you.
There you go. Solid
but yes, short rest healing is never really a problem for Leo, because either I'm
I was
dead,
just as I was asking the question, I was like, well, yeah, no, Leo's the guy who, if he does need to heal after a short rest, it's probably because he was at 0. Yep, fair.
He does. It's good for your spell slots, however, Leo, and as you know, your connection to the Weave and to the Feywild has been diminishing. As it's been a while, but just to remind you, on your short rest now, roll a d20. If it's 10 or above, you have both your spell slots. If it's less than 10, you're down to 1 spell slot for the next short rest.
Might have been why I was at 1 before. I was trying to remember what else I could.
I think that's why.
So I'm back down to 1. Cool.
Okay.
I regenerated a 1 casting of tongues, everybody.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's more than there was before.
Exactly.
Can Brucon do the whole bowl meditation?
Yes, roll for it.
I'm gonna roll a D100.
Because attuning is sort of a passive sort of thing. I'd say
Yeah, you kind of just sit there staring at it until it becomes on your wavelength. Right. So rolling
your orb.
D100 and add monk level, which is 7. Okay. That is 95.
Oh, that's high numbers. That gets you a nice little ability, doesn't it?
That gets me clairvoyance, is what that gets me.
And
that's pretty cool.
The player's handbook.
hastily searching D&D Beyond for clairvoyance at the same time because I don't remember how it works. Oh wait,
Remember,
no, yes I do. It's the invisible sensor within
Sensor.
range. Yeah. Okay. And the range
Remember
is a
those of
mile.
you who are watching live on Twitch that the D&D Beyond attachment, what's it called? The extension should be up. I will double check. It definitely will be for next time, but it should be up today.
It is up. Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. So you can check out all of the players' stats and all, of course, their items and inventory and abilities and all other things to do with these characters, apart from a couple of little things are withheld. But for the most part, you can see a lot about each of the heroes in our campaign right now.
I don't know how rapidly it's supposed to catch up or refresh, because it's still got me at my hit point total that I was at, and I've just healed a bunch, and it's not showing it, so that's something to note, but not super important for right now. Cool. Okay, so I've got a range of a mile to play with for this clairvoyance. When Brucon was at the party,
yes,
I recall he got into a conversation with, was it Dudra Denish?
Yeah, you got into a conversation with a few. Dudra Denish was the sort of fashionista, if you like, from the
the non-binary fashion type.
Yes, from the Silver Sector.
Yes, and do I correctly recall them inviting Brucon to a party on a boat?
Yes, you did.
Or is the boat within a mile of where Brucon is right now?
Actually, it is. Yes.
Sweet. Okay, Brucon. A place you have visited or seen before, or in an obvious location that is unfamiliar to you. I think it's going to have to be, with that level of information, what Brucon would like to do is place a auditory sensor at the bridge of the boat.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong here, folks, but I was going to say that you could do a perception check to see what you can hear through the sensor. I'm not sure if that...
Yeah.
I might just double check if that's how the spell works, but...
when you cast a spell, you can use the chosen sense through the sensor as if you were in its space, which sounds to me like doing a perception check. Yeah,
that seems reasonable.
I think you can also change it as an action. You can alternate
can.
between sight and hearing. So you can look, see if anyone's there, and then you can change it to hearing.
Ah, okay. Well, in that case, it's going to start with a visual.
It, yeah.
Nice. Okay, well then let's start with a visual one and then see what we've got. So perception check.
Yeah.
Sick. Okay, here we go. 9.
Okay, with a 9, it's the so you're on the bridge of the ship. It seems relatively empty. There's a couple of deckhands mopping the deck. It's from Brucon's experience of ships, which is not exhaustative. You're not really a seafaring chap.
It's true.
But this it seems to scrub up all right. This ship. It seems to be it seems very new and expensively furnished. Now you would understand things that are expensive. This looks expensive. This whole thing, how it's outfitted, audaciously so. In fact, with some of the decor that you can see, even on the deck, there are it seems rich mahogany is used in place of more practical wood, and other such sort of busts and whatnot have been carved into it. It's a really fine specimen of a boat.
Cool. Okay. I mean, I have inspected the boat. Might as well listen in just in case something interesting or in some way useful should be hearable. So Brucon will
one more perception
flip
check.
it. Yep.
And
be better than the last one.
Flip to hearing.
Please. It is not better than the last one. It is that is a 5.
You can mostly hear the sounds of the sea.
Yeah, that's fair.
And some draconic muttering between the two deckhands.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't expect them to be the thing that busts the case wide open anyway, so that's not awful. Okay, but you know, I'll tell you the one other thing Brucon would like to do is just kind of mentally note, might even write down, seeing as this is a short rest, the kind of general layout of the upper deck of the ship, like, you know, just what it looks like, in case we should find ourselves visiting later on.
Sure, yeah. By all means, you can do that. No problem.
And that's me.
Great. So I'd like to, unless anyone else is doing anything significant during this hour, I gather it's mostly just resting and keeping an eye on the captive. Other than Seth, let's go to Seth. So you've left the inn and you've gone across to where these. It appears to be more of the poor and the homeless of Richir all seem to be heading in, congregating in outside a particular building. You've still got tongues up for now. You're not sure how long's left on it, but you can understand what they're saying. Are you just heading straight in there, or like sort of getting amongst the crowd, or are you more sort of hanging back and observing?
No, getting amongst crowds. I mean, it's a big public gathering, so I'm not going to be super stealthy about it or anything.
You see immediately that some of them notice you. You do stand out in the Dragonborn Kingdom, and you're one of the pit champions. You're basically a celebrity. So you feel a lot of hands kind of pouring at you, and like,
oh, please, sir, we could do with coin. We are not doing very well here, please.
I'm sorry, I don't have anything with me at the moment. I'm going to rummage for pockets and I'm going to put like just a couple coins and part of them. I don't want to start every single person here. Yeah, I don't want to start every single person here.
And they're thanking. They're all thanking you. They're very, very grateful, just even for the little bit you do give them. But then, as you're doing this, some of them start turning around and looking in a different direction, kind of stopping abruptly, and they part. And then you see, kind of coming up the gap that they've created. You would recognize, because I think you've met them at this point now. Yes, you would. One of the nobles, one of the members of the Dragon Council, because you passed them. Seth, you might not actually know their name at this point. Some of the other of the party would, but this is a Dragonborn, a female Dragonborn with some bronze scales over her brow. And sort of long braids, but very simply dressed. You only know she's a noble because she had an audience with the king, but she looks like one of the common folk by the way that she's dressed, and rather humble. And she recognizes you straight away and sort of holds out a bangle-covered arm, waves to you.
Seth, you have taken me up on my offer to join us at the soup kitchen. Thank you.
Oh, shit. Yes. Happy to be of help to the people.
Excellent. Will your friends be joining you also?
I'm afraid they were indisposed with other arrangements they've previously made. I came to represent the pit champions in helping the people.
And she looks a little bit disappointed when you say the others can't come, but then soon perks up again when you're saying, I'm here to represent the pit champions.
Oh, wonderful. Well, perhaps this should also give us some time to discuss matters I wanted to talk privately with you. Come with me.
And beckons you towards the building that the folk were gathered outside.
Yes, I'll go with her.
Yep.
I'm just hoping like it's like a good performance, but nope. I'm helping. Sure.
She outfits you as soon as you get inside the building, gives you an apron, and beckons you over to the kitchen. It's a very large open sort of dining space with a counter space. With a few, you can see there's a cauldron. There's a large cauldron, very large cauldron, with a big fire under it that has yet to be lit. But it's just kind of
it's a little early yet, but we'll get this underway now, and should be up and running within the next sort of 15 minutes maybe to let everyone in. But anyway, I don't know if I was formally introduced to you, but obviously I know of you, the pit champion. I am Pharrell Ragthrock. I am the leader of Clan Ragthrock and sort of the authority here in the Bronze Sector. I'm also the welfare head of the Dragon Council. It is a pleasure to have some time with you and for you to give something back to the poor. It means a lot, and if I could trouble you further, I know that you have an ear of the king, and in a way that perhaps I do not. And I was wondering if perhaps there was some way that we could both work together for the benefit of the lowly and destitute of Rachir. Would you be willing to hear my proposal?
Yes, we'd be very happy to help. We've maybe seen the king once or twice before we move on from here. We'd be happy to help you with the proposal.
And you recognize that so while she's having this conversation with you, she's starting to get stuff ready. So she lights the cauldron. She then disappears out the back, comes back a moment later, seems to have gone to some sort of pantry or something. And you see there's it looks like you recognize it as a goat's leg. It seems to have been covered in some spices and stuff. And she starts hacking away at the raw meat, just chopping it up. Starts deboning it and so on, as she continues talking to you.
So what I was hoping was to seek an audience with the king privately in a different setting. I know that it is only a year since his wife the queen passed away, but I think it would be of benefit to the entirety of Rachir if perhaps our houses were to unite. I being descended from Terran the Fierce, the dragon who founded Rachir, I believe that my house is most fitting to be united with the royal house of the Dragonborn Kingdom. And I wish only to discuss this matter and see if there was perhaps a way that this could be arranged with Zarndak. But unfortunately, he has rebuffed my advances thus far. But if you were to do this for me, I would be indebted to you, and if there's anything that you need that I can repay you with, I will do so.
I'm like the worst person for this. I can't remember a single thing that our objectives are, but
trying to find out about the assassination thing, really, and who's behind it is the crux of it, right?
Someone in Rachir is sus.
Yeah, but she's one of the suspects as well.
Yep.
Can't really go to suspect and say, "Oh yes, give us up." But I'll mention it to the king and see if we can get an audience when we meet with him. I can't make any promises. We've only met him a couple of times since we've arrived, and not all of them have been pleasant encounters.
I appreciate. Yes.
But happy to help today and speak on your behalf in the future when we speak to him.
Wonderful. And yes, I'm sure I will hear when the king summons me, but I do appreciate your assistance, and I will repay you in kind, I promise you.
No. As we're saying this, can I do a perception check around? I want to see if there's anyone suspicious around, like hidden bodyguards and stuff like that. Sure. Noble in a
yes, yeah, sure. Make a perception check.
Yeah. Ooh, that's not good. Oh, a little bit better. 11.
11. I mean, she seemed to have been fairly discreet, and it seemed to be only the two of you when she had this conversation, and you get that she's being discreet about it because once a couple of other helpers, volunteers at the soup kitchen come through the front door, the conversation ends pretty abruptly between the two of you, and she moves on, and that's when she kind of moves on to other matters and says, it would be most appreciated. But for now, yes. So welcome to the soup kitchen. This is we do this every day. I'm not here every day. Sometimes it is just my lovely volunteers here, but we want to make sure that those who cannot afford can get a good meal once a day. Try and help each other out. Let me show you around, and we can serve up as soon as we should be ready to let them in about 15 minutes or so.
Yep. I got a couple hours free. Nothing. No one's going to be coming for me to help. Yep. Let's go.
Excellent. So you start helping, and I would like you, Seth, for this, because you're helping out in the soup kitchen. I would like you to make this just a general dexterity check. You're not proficient with cook's utensils, so I think just a general dexterity check, please.
A little bit of flinging soup.
Yeah. 18.
18. Okay, so you do help, and you prove quite adept with chopping up the vegetables and whatnot for the soup. Equally, you spill very little when the folk are allowed in and take their bowls and sort of form an orderly queue. Very swift. Pharrell's quite impressed, actually, with how swiftly you are ladling out the soup and not really spilling much. And over the course of the next 2 hours, you help out at the soup kitchen. Seth gets some inspiration for doing a good deed. And I would imagine... we'll cross to the rest of the party, because after 1 hour, they finish short resting and you haven't returned. So I think we should pause it here. So for next time, you guys then decide, you're probably going to find Seth at the soup kitchen and then move on from there. But this seems like
That's
a nice
in terrible
point to
trouble.
jump
We
off
must
today.
rescue him immediately.
You must
been
save
tricked into
Seth
doing
from
good.
charity.
Oh,
Worst fate.
As I said at the top of the stream, I'll be back next week with a roundup of what's happened in the last 5 sessions. That's session 76 through to 80, with previously in the Manylands. Join me for that Thursday at 7:30. We will see the rest of you folk. That's you guys, the players. Thank you so much for joining us, and happy 2022. But we shall see you at our new slot, February 2nd. That's Wednesday, February the 2nd at 7 p.m. to continue the campaign. Until then, whatever you're doing, have a lovely week. Have a lovely 2 weeks, players. And we shall see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.